the bus is coming and everybody jumping. New York to San Francisco. This weekend, music theory. This weekend, music theory.
What's up, everybody? Ryan here with the Disco Ball. Today we're going to be talking about chords that aren't major or minor, diminished or augmented. They're their own category and they're called suspended chords. Let's do some quick review about chords. Thankfully, I drew some incredible pictures. A major chord is when you stand 4 steps away from Bill, who stands 3 steps away from Steve, to a total of 7 steps. A minor chord is when you stand 3 steps away from Bill, who stands 4 steps away from Steve, still to a total of 7 steps. A diminished chord is when you stand 3 steps away from Bill, who stands 3 steps away from Steve, to a total of 6 steps. Finally, an augmented chord is when you stand 4 steps away from Bill, who stands 4 steps away from Steve, to a total of 8 steps. What do all these chords have in common? Well, it's some type of third, whether major or minor, built on top of another third, major or minor, to make some kind of diminished or perfect or augmented fifth. It's some type of third equals fifth. But there's another way to get to the fifth interval, and that's with a second on top of a fourth. This completely changes the quality of the chord. It can't be major or minor anymore because we don't have a major or minor third to build on top of. No. We're in open voicing territory. Why are these open voicings? Well, we're using fourths, which are wider intervals than thirds, so we're starting to open up the sound, and then you throw the seconds on top, which are very close and very tense, and so you have this open and then squished sound. It's no longer a basis of major or minor. If you're 5 steps away from Bill, who's 2 steps away from Steve, it's still a total of 7 steps, or a perfect fifth, and this is called a suspended 4 chord. The most common use of that chord is to go suspended 4 down to a major chord. For example, C suspended would be C, F, G, and then you go down to C major, C, E, G. You hear this type of motion in the song Free Fallin' by Tom Petty. The next most common use of the suspended 4 chord is over the 5 chord. So if we're still in the key of C, you would use it on a G chord, and instead of going G, B, D, you'd go G, C, D, and then you'd resolve that C down to B. Suspended 4 chords aren't just necessarily for tension and release though. In the 60s, piano players like McCoy Tyner started playing suspended 4 chords and chords based around fourths in general to get rid of the tonality of major or minor and open up the playing field for improvisation. A suspended second is when you're 2 steps away from Bill, who's 5 steps away from Steve, and it still adds up to a total of 7, or a perfect fifth. A suspended second is a little harder to find in nature. You could do a suspended second to a minor chord. So if we're in the key of A minor, you could do A, B, E to A, C, E, and still have that half-step resolution, but it doesn't occur as much, although it does occur. You can use the suspended second in place of a minor chord though, especially if that minor third had been used in the song earlier. Your ear wants to create the fact that it's a minor chord, but the suspended second kind of pulls you away from that and creates this tension. Alternatively, just like suspended 4 chords, they can be used on their own for their own sonic landscape. Well, that's all about suspended chords for now. Once again, my name is Ryan Strumpler over at DoubleBarMusic in the disco room. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and comment if there's anything about tonality or music theory in general you'd like me to cover or talk about more. And for everything else, post your favorite disco move. I might bust it out here on camera.